One boy dared to face the giant. Everyone afraid, but David trusted God. Israel needed a new king because King Saul had disobeyed God. The Lord spoke to the prophet Samuel and said, "Fill your horn with oil and go to Bethlehem. I have chosen one of Jesse's sons to be king." Samuel obeyed God and began his journey. When Samuel arrived in Bethlehem, he invited Jesse and his sons to a sacrifice before the Lord. Jesse proudly presented each of his sons before Samuel. Eliab, the oldest, looked strong and handsome, and Samuel thought he must be God's chosen one. But the Lord said, "Do not consider his appearance or his height. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." One by one, all 7 sons stood before Samuel, but God chose none of them. Samuel asked Jesse, "Are these all your sons?" Jesse replied, "There is still the youngest. He is out in the fields taking care of the sheep." Samuel said, "Send for him. We will not sit down until he arrives." Soon, David came from the fields. He was a young shepherd with a humble heart. The Lord said to Samuel, "Rise and anoint him, this is the one." Samuel poured oil on David's head, and from that day the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. Meanwhile, the Philistine army gathered for war against Israel. Their champion was a giant named Goliath, who stepped forward every day and challenged the Israelites to send someone to fight him. For 40 days, Goliath mocked the army of Israel. King Saul and his soldiers were terrified, and no one dared to face the giant. One day, Jesse sent David to deliver food to his brothers who were serving in Saul's army. As David reached the battlefield, he heard Goliath shouting his challenge. David asked, "Who is this Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" While everyone else was afraid, David believed that God would give Israel the victory. King Saul heard about David's courage and called him. David said, "The Lord rescued me from the lion and the bear while I cared for my father's sheep. He will also rescue me from this Philistine." Saul offered David his armor and sword, but David removed them because he was not used to wearing them. Instead, he took his shepherd's staff, chose 5 smooth stones from a stream, placed them in his pouch, and carried only his sling. When Goliath saw David, he laughed and mocked him, saying, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" But David answered, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. The battle belongs to the Lord." David ran toward Goliath, placed a stone in his sling, spun it, and released it. The stone struck Goliath on the forehead, and the giant fell face down to the ground. The Philistine army fled in fear, and the Israelites chased them, celebrating the victory that God had given them. David did not take the credit for himself. Everyone knew that it was God's power, not David's strength, that defeated the giant. From that day forward, David became known throughout Israel. His faith and courage inspired many people, reminding them that with God, even the greatest giants can be overcome.
Thank you for watching.